That way? That way? Thank you!
I read your story. I saw so many similarities, it was quite mad.
She goes rather well with what I'm wearing, though. That's what I said. He looks hot.
So crazy.
Yeah, this is stuff from my house.
Oh, is it? Is
That's
that
my
your
dad, and then that's my sister in the air.
Oh, bless.
We're very loose on this pod. Ms. Jo Malone, CBE, the legend. I am so excited to talk to you because I've always loved you and your sense of smell because what you've delivered to us.
Thanks.
Throughout your journey and career has been so overwhelmingly gorgeous. But I had no idea about the twists and turns that your life had taken, where you'd come from, how hard you'd worked. I had no idea about the turmoil with your business and how Jo Loves began. And also I had no idea about your new venture, which I'm so excited to talk about. So there's a lot to get at here, Jo. But thanks so much.
Oh, no, thank you. I love sharing my story. And because I think one of my biggest aims is always, if someone listens to me, either in a speaking engagement or podcast or interview, is I want them at that last bit to go, if she can do it, so can I.
Yes.
And then I feel my job's done.
I think a really massive thing I felt about your life when I read about it was that you've been through so many different, quite traumatic experiences, but they have made you who you are today. And they have created somebody who is so empathetic, I feel, but also who reads people. You know, you talk about your senses quite a lot, that you have an amazing ability to see people as they are.
Yeah, I do. Good and bad.
Yeah, and that's a gift.
Because everybody is of value. I really do believe that. And everybody has something incredible about them. And life is all about finding what that jewel is. What is that moment where you go, this is the best I've ever been, and I want to be even better. And I think trauma and things that happen, because good things happen to bad people and bad things happen to good people. That is just life. It's how you deal with it.
Yes.
It's how you deal with, you know when you meet people and they blame everybody else about
victim mindset.
This was because of this or that.
Yeah.
And it's like, but you can change it. You can change your destiny in a second if you want to. And perfect people don't make great entrepreneurs, if I'm really honest. Imperfect upbringings or first jobs or lack of education, that is what makes great entrepreneurs.
So, I mean, I'm not being funny or anything, but we're bringing in you some great content. And I just wanted to say, we can continue doing that if you just press like and subscribe. It doesn't cost you any money. It's very quick and easy to do. Please do it. I love you. I would like to go back, actually, to little Jo and tell me a bit about what your life was like and your first memories.
Oh, I had a really happy childhood. And I grew up on a council estate. And it's so funny when I go around talking now, when I say the word estate, everyone imagines Downton Abbey. And it's like, it was far from Downton Abbey. And it was a little 2 up, 2 down council estate. My dad worked for Alcan, the double glazing company, and my mum worked for Revlon. And they always had sort of quite an angry relationship. There was always a row. And I would walk into the house, and if my father said to me, tell your mother, I thought, oh, no. And all you want as a child is happiness, don't you?
Yes.
You want to feel safe and secure. And I was the adult in that house from 11. I really was. So my father was an absolute brilliant man. He was an artist. He was a magician, but he was a huge gambler as well. So he would paint pictures, and at the weekends, I would go with him to the market. I was probably 7 or 8. We'd set up our stall, and I would send my dad off to go and get breakfast. And I knew within that 30 minutes I had to sell a painting. Because I knew that we didn't have any money to eat
Oh,
back
wow.
home. And my mum would say, if you don't sell anything today, there is nothing to eat. So I would sell that first painting, put the money in my pocket, and I would hold on to it.
Oh, you
And
give it to your
I wouldn't give it to my dad because I knew what he would do on Sunday with it.
Right.
But I loved everything about my father. He was kind, gentle, loved animals. I mean, I'm so similar to him. And then he had,
Sorry,
Yeah.
I just want to unpick a little bit of that
Yeah.
because that is so interesting because in a sense, I can hear the love you had for your dad. But at the same time, he would kind of put your whole family, like you weren't sure whether you're going to be able to eat or not. But that didn't affect how you felt about your dad.
no, because I thought everybody lived like that.
Oh,
I had no idea that, I mean, you wouldn't, would you? You just think that's our life. And, you know, we lived on a council estate where there were people worse off than us as well. But I think my father's sense of entertainment, I just wanted to be with him the whole time. So I was trained to be the magician's assistant. I was the Debbie McGee. And when he would go and do magic shows to earn some money, I knew how people were sawn in half. I had a pet dove called Suki, and she would appear from a pan of fire. Oh, I loved her. She used to sit on my shoulder and coo in my ear. So I knew all the tricks, and I would help him. And then, of course, the money he would earn, he would then take me to the poker game, and that's where it all went wrong every time. And
did you notice then, oh, this is what he does and it's going wrong?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Okay. How old were you then?
I was 7, 8.
Wow, it's so young, really, when you think about it.
But he trained me to read marked cards, and I had really long hair. So I would sit in the corner, I'd watch them all playing, and I would twiddle my hair to let my dad know what was in everyone's hand. And I think about it now, it was so dangerous.
Yeah.
You know, and in my life, I've never gambled. Never. Never had an overdraft of my own. I've never gambled. And because of that memory of what it can do to a family. And I look at it now, Davina, and I think, my poor mum.
Yeah.
That's probably why she was so angry. And so she found me a threat always. And I think it was probably because she was really insecure and really unhappy.
It is quite a gift getting older and being able to see with hindsight reasons for things.
Yeah.
Has that helped you, do you think?
I think I don't want to feel bitter, actually. Yeah. That's what I don't want in my life. And, you know, because of some of the other health challenges I faced, I was angry as a teenager for a long time. And understandably, you know, I left school with no qualifications. So I felt for a long time, I was like a little old lady in a young body. That's where I had, it was up to me to make sure there was always 3 meals in the fridge. And it always involved a tin of baked beans, eggs, you know. But we had incredible neighbours and community. And they would knock on the door because I looked after my sister. I'd pick her up from school, take her back home, cook dinner for her. Then I'd have to clean the house. And then my mum would arrive back at about 10 o'clock at night and I'd have to have the twin tub ready to go with all the sheets. And at 10 o'clock at night, I was doing a full wash so that my mum had clinic sheets for the next day. You know, when I think back on it, 11 years old.
Yeah.
And
your sister was 5. She was quite young.
She was
5. Like a little girl for you to look after.
She was. But again, our neighbours would knock on the door and Auntie Maureen would say, oh, I've picked up some lamb chops. You know, it was such kindness and it wasn't done, it was just done out of love and kindness and community. It really was.
It wasn't patronising in any way. It was like literally just, you're a mate, you do this for me.
Yep.
Yeah.
No judgment either.
Yeah.
No judgment. And still to this day, I have to have 3 meals in the fridge, even now, because you never know. But that keeps your feet on the ground.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm probably never going to have to worry about another meal in the rest of my life. But it keeps me appreciative of what I do have as well. But I laughed a lot. It was a happy childhood. Always dogs around. So I love dogs. I love animals. But not a lot of money.
That little Joe, I always think it's quite a useful and brilliant thing to remember yourself as this little person, but with love. because she is in you.
Yeah.
She is you.
Yeah.
And she is why you are you now. And that's such a gift.
And nothing's wasted.
Yeah.
You know, something, I truly believe that in my life. It's like, what, if I looked again at my life, would I change anything? I wouldn't. I really wouldn't. And I changed some of the things I've said to people.
I was thinking when I was learning about you and falling in love with you a bit, right? I was like, but she doesn't regret anything. I bet, even though some of it's been really hard, it's all been okay. You've made it.
It's made me who I am.
Yeah.
And actually all the pieces, and we are a product of our upbringing. We are a product of our family. And when I look at my son Josh now, I look at him and I just think he is a product of the love that we have as a family. And he believes he can do anything, absolutely anything. So we have such a responsibility to equip them with a life toolbox of ways to behave and things that will help them. And I had to create my own toolbox from the age of 7. With all the
interested, like how, because you were talking about, in a sense, I feel exactly like you, that my upbringing made me want to be a different mother to the mother that I had.
Wow.
But what I love about you is that you said, you know, I've enabled Josh to have a life and be the mum where he could do anything. He feels that. But you actually did end up feeling, you did so many amazing things when you were little. But do you think you had that in you, or do you think it's your upbringing and how you had to fight for everything?
survival.
Yeah.
Honestly, I didn't think I was this. I remember being, because I'm severely dyslexic as well, like letters run around on the pages. So I spend a lot of my energy trying to pull the letters together to form the word. And by the time I've done that, everyone is so far ahead of me. And I remember being at school once in a school exam, and I cheated because it was a multiple choice, and I thought, I just don't want to be last again. I just don't. I felt so humiliated, but I wasn't diagnosed with dyslexia at that point. And I was caught cheating. And the teacher said, "Jo Malone, stand on your chair." And she said, "You're lazy and you're stupid and you will never make anything of your life." And I just, at that young kid, I thought, you're wrong.
Yes.
You're absolutely wrong. I could probably run faster in business than you ever could, even at the age of 7. And I used that humiliation to motivate me and saying to myself, I will change I'm not going to grow up here. I'm not going to raise my family here. I'm going to be happy and strong. I'm not lazy. I'm not stupid. I just have a different way of getting to a destination. And that's really where my determination started. And that's when the problem started.
What problem?
The rub with my mum.
So it was when you found hope for your future and the little light went on, that was a problem
she lost
for your
control.
mum. Wow.
And I took control back.
Wow.
And she knew that she couldn't control me in the way. And I loved my mum very much in a different way to my dad.
Yeah.
But I did love her. And when we were very young, she was such a loving, wonderful human being. Something happened. I don't know what that was. Something happened to change her. At the age of 11, she had a severe mental breakdown. And I was the one that nursed her.
When you were 11?
I was 11.
Yeah.
I didn't go to school for about 6 months. And every time social services would come round, I would pretend that my dad had just nipped out or, my mum. And I slipped through the cracks, which is why I never finished school. But I was her carer and I looked after her. And when she came back from that and then she had another breakdown, she was never the same person. And she looked at me. She was angry. And I can understand. Do you know what? I have no anger or bitterness. I look at it now and I think, you poor woman, what you must have gone through. But as a young child, it was her responsibility to look after me, not the other way around. But when she came back, I think she looked at me and she thought, that's the life I wanted. And it was right before her every single day.
Yes.
She didn't mean to be mean to me. She just wanted the life that she could see I was taking hold for myself.
Yes.
So I left school at 15, no qualifications, didn't even sit exams, nothing, absolutely nothing, and went to work in a flower shop. And that's where I really started to find Joe and this different identity and this different person. Yeah, the smells, but I didn't realise at that point. So I got my first job, and I needed to live in London because we were living in Barnhurst. And my mum had a friend, and she said, look, very happy to have Joe come and live here. Should be sharing a room with another girl. And they had this beautiful big family house, and they were a Christian family. And I had never sat at a table and had dinner every evening. I'd never had Sunday lunch in that way. And I remember the first time she served artichokes, and I just didn't know what an artichoke and what to do with it.
How do you like?
So it was full of love. It was full of and freedom, and to be able to find myself. And it just opened up this incredible world for me. And we would go to church every Sunday. So that was how I got involved with the youth group.
What did you like about it?
Family.
Yeah.
That's honestly, for me, it's one of the Solomon's riches. And they don't have to be birth family. You just have to feel comfortable in the place, and you can just be yourself. You can let your guard down, and no one's going to judge you.
Yes.
And the church we had a youth group, so I used to help with the youth group. And because
that's purpose, isn't it? Like when you can help.
I wanted to help other people.
Yeah.
And by that point, I'd really found my feet. And my first job, I loved my first job. It was just into blanks, and that's where I got fired. But anyway. They just gave me that platform. And you know what? When you've come from a background, and I used to go home every weekend, by the way. I used to go home and see mum and dad, and it was so much happier. But I was so much stronger. I was not going to be manipulated by a situation. But, sometimes mum and dad would be together, and sometimes they'd separate. So I never knew what I was going back to. But I always knew by Sunday evening, when I get on that train, I was going back to something stable.
Yeah. That family you moved in with in London really were a godsend.
Yeah, they were.
Well, literally, they helped you find your faith, which has helped you through your life at various times, I'm sure.
I struggle with my faith a bit now.
Yeah. So why is that?
Don't know, actually. It's not that I don't believe, but I don't know.
It's really interesting you say that, because I was brought up a Christian by my granny, and I went to church every Sunday. I was in the church choir.
Wow.
And then I found it again when I got clean, and I went to the church next door to my flat in London and did a bit of Sunday school.
I bet you were great.
So, but it's quite weird, these parallels. Yeah. But as I've got older, I too have, I would say now, rather than being religious, I have faith.
Yeah, I do.
And I'm not sure
where it's
what it's in.
I just think the way the world is at the minute, faith is an important thing, and whatever that means to each person. But it makes me want to be a better person.
Yes.
I don't want to do good because it's the right thing to do. I want to do good because I feel my life is so great. I want to see others. And that is, the whole point of religion. And I don't like the thought of just saying we're right and everyone else is wrong. I really don't.
Ladies! Hey, come here. I have just found out a major, major secret. One that men have been keeping to themselves for far too long, and I'm here to blow the whistle on this entire operation. You know creatine? That supplement that everybody says is just for the gym bros looking to bulk up. Well, it's actually for us, women. We tend to have 20 to 30% lower creatine stores than men, which is frankly rude. So supplementing can give us a real edge. I mean, think improved strength, better recovery, more sustained energy. And because life throws a few curveballs at us, like periods, postpartum, perimenopause, where energy, focus, resilience are key, our sponsor, Ancient and Brave, added taurine, vitamin D and magnesium to their True Creatine Plus to help keep you, your energy, performance and daily well-being in the best shape. Plus, Their powder's tasteless, so you can just pop it in your water, tea, smoothie. But what set Ancient and Brave apart is their commitment to sustainability. They're a B Corp and members of 1% for the Planet, with 2% of their sales going directly to environmental causes. So if you'd like 20% off your first 3 subscription orders, go to ancientandbrave.earth/planet. This episode is in partnership with Airbnb.
Davina,
Yeah.
have you got any big travel plans this year?
Yes, I am. I'm going to see my daughter Tilly in Australia. She's out there being fabulous, and I'm here crying over photos from 2008. So I booked my flight, and then I thought, well, hold on a minute. My house is just going to sit there. So I actually decided to host it on Airbnb, and now I have a lovely couple coming to stay while I'm away, and it all happened super quick, and it was that simple. So now I'm going to get Tilly hugs, sunshine. I'm going to be bathing on Bondi Beach, or should I say Bondi Beach, and they'll get to play Davina for the week, which, let me tell you, is quite good fun. So I don't know, they might just turn up on Tuesday here and record if that's okay.
Okay.
So it's the first time I've hosted with Airbnb, but I'm really excited because I've been able to make my place available for the exact dates that suit me. I love that flexibility. Have you considered that your home might be worth more than you think? So find out how much at airbnb.co.uk/host. So many things, Jo, have happened in your life that have been quite extraordinary. And it's like it's out of your hands. There's something bigger.
Yes. Yeah.
And I'd like to talk about your breast cancer diagnosis and where were you at in your life when that happened?
So we had built our first business, and within 5 years to the day, we had sold it to Estee Lauder, the Estee Lauder Corporation. And I was 36, 37 years old. And honestly, we went from sleeping on a piece of blue foam. So the council estate followed us all the way through. And we had very little money, but we'd started this business. Gary was in building surveying. We'd gone in together and we said, look, give it a year. And if it doesn't work, we'll go back to what we do. But it did work, and we did sell the business. And the first thing we did was buy a double bed. That night was so strange, sleeping in a double bed because we slept on foam. And both.
But can I just quickly go back? So you sold your business 5 years after you started it, but you were still living on a foam mattress 5 years in. So you weren't taking money out of the business; you were just ploughing it all back in.
We were, absolutely. But I was still doing faces at the time, so I was a facialist, making face creams and etc. But in that 5 years, you have a pool of money and you think, okay, can I take a little bit out? And if I do, then we can't do that, and that.
Right.
And actually, Joe Loves is in the same situation. I don't take a salary from Joe Loves. I earn my money in other ways. But yeah, so we were sleeping on a piece of blue foam. I can remember it. I used to scent it every night. So I just thought, even if I'm sleeping on the floor, it's going to smell good.
But it is interesting. That is important.
To me, it was.
Yes.
To me, it was, yeah.
Somebody who loves smell. I'm going to talk about senses later, but...
But it was an empty room. I mean, I filled my home, and I still do, with fragrance. I don't need lots of things. I need a good smell.
Yes.
So anyway, and then we sold our business, and we lived for a year like kings and queens. We did. And I'd fallen pregnant, and I had hyperemesis, so I was sick for, that.
Oh
my
God.
goodness.
Oh, you poor
sickness,
thing.
but like for 9 months.
Oh.
9 months. So I was 7 stone 2 when I had Josh. And he popped out healthy as can be. And I was really poorly for a little bit. But within 8 weeks, I was back on the road, wanted to get back to work. I'm not somebody to sit on a beach the whole time and just, I love doing something. And I started to, within a year, I started to feel really tired and really poorly. And I was in New York, and we were shooting this amazing, we called it a magalog, I think it was, like a catalogue and a magazine. And we were shooting it. And one day I just thought, I feel so weak. There was a tiredness that wasn't normal. I was 38 years old, and I went back to the hotel, I had a shower, and I found a lump. It was about that big.
Oh,
I don't know how I hadn't. It didn't hurt.
Yeah.
And it wasn't, and it moved. Went home, had it checked out. And my lovely doctor, who's still my doctor today, said, I think we need this scanned. So I said, okay, well, I'm going to go to a party tonight. He said, no, we need this scan now. And he sent me, I was very lucky enough to, and actually when you hear that, the quicker you can get that diagnosed, the less anxiety, because you'll know what you're dealing with. And so I had it scanned, and I saw the nurse's face, and she said, excuse me, I'm just going to go, and I'll be back in a second. And I knew at that moment. Then the doctor came in and said, we're just going to take you upstairs and have a little chat. And he said, we can see by the scan it's cancer, because it had jagged edges. It wasn't like a cyst. Well, I shouldn't say these things because I'm not a doctor. But he said to me, if it was like a round pebble, it was probably not a tumour. But they could see the jagged edges on it. I had I had all the scans for the next 7 days, which was horrendous. Has it gone? And every time I went in one of those machines. Anyway, by the end of it, he said, look, you have a very aggressive form of breast cancer. We're going to need to do a lumpectomy straight away. And I remember coming home that evening, and I called Evelyn Lauder, the wonderful late Evelyn Lauder.
Wow.
And I said, Evelyn.
What made you call her?
Because she headed the breast cancer campaign. She was
wow.
the pink ribbon. I mean, that woman.
Oh, wow, was she? I didn't know that.
Legacy to this world. So many women are alive today because of the amazing Evelyn Lauder. And I called her, and I remember her first thing, and she said, remember, honey, you make lemonade from lemons. And I said, what does that mean? And she said, yeah, sometimes the sweetest thing in your life comes with huge bitterness and a war you have to fight. Anyway, I jumped on a plane the next morning. I went to New York. Thank God I did, because I would not have survived on normal chemotherapy. I didn't.
Was that on her advice? Did she know somebody
She said,
there?
come and see Dr. Larry Norton. And Dr. Larry Norton is the man who saved my life, along with his team. And I walked in, he had looked at all the scans, my bloods, and he said, okay, we are going to do a lumpectomy tomorrow. It was really, really quick in. They did the lumpectomy, and then they called me 7 days later, and they said, you have DCIS. And I said, what does that mean? And they said ductal carcinoma in situ. So even if we take this, it's going to come back. So you're going to need a mastectomy. Gary fell on the floor. It was so awful, and he cried. I was so shocked. I didn't know what. And I said, no, let's do the tests again. You're wrong. I mean, you just can't believe it's happening.
Yes.
You've been in the same situation. And I was operated on 7 days later. And I went into severe depression, like anxiety. I didn't want to talk. I didn't want to see Josh. And I just looked at my body thinking, I'm never, ever going to be attractive again. I'm never going to be a woman again. I'm never going to be able to live my life. And is it going to, so many things. And then they said, you're going to start chemotherapy almost immediately. So I had this cage in my chest called a tissue expander. And I used to have, it was just every day was a day fighting for my life for nearly 18 months. Did the first lot of chemo, very, very poorly, lost all my hair. And that's where I felt like I was stripped of everything I was. My darling husband never left my side. He was there every time. I was in intensive care every 7 days where my white cells would drop. I got everything. I got shingles, you name it, I got it. And it was just grueling. Anyway, we then get to the end of the chemo, and they're going to reconstruct me. I found something in the other one. I had to go through it all again. And then I had the other one taken. I just said, take it off. I'm not going to live my life like this, wondering.
Isn't that fascinating that you'd gone from, oh no, please don't, this is me, to just go.
I'm not living my life like this.
What helped you get there? Because I think, again, women, it is common for women to get breast cancer at some points, relatively common, like 1 in 7 of us.
1 in 3.
Oh, 1 in 3. So 1 in 3,
That's why it's important to go and get your scans, because early detection will often mean a complete cure.
But you were quite young. I mean, I don't think women get scanned at 30.
They should do.
38, 39, they should do, right?
We should be looking at breast health, prostate health, all of those things, and get yourself checked. I could sit here all day and chat to you. AI is going to be a huge advantage in this.
Yeah.
So that is another conversation. And actually now, when I was diagnosed with cancer, which was 21 years ago, a long time ago, the survival rate is so different now. Why? Because of early detection. Why? Because of people like Dr. Larry Norton and the Memorial Sloan Kettering and the Marsden Hospital, all working together across the world with AI to find solutions. And, you know, you can go on and live your life. But going back, why did I say just take it off? Because there was still that woman that wanted to look great in a swimsuit. And I know that sounds really stupid.
Can I just say, I don't think any woman here would ever agree with you on that. It does not sound stupid.
Oh, okay. But
I totally...
fickle or something. But
no, I just
wanted,
get that.
I wanted to look good. And I thought, okay, I met this amazing plastic surgeon, part of the cancer hospital, called Dr. Joseph Deesa. And he was still is, very good looking. And I thought, if there is anyone going to be rebuild me, it's going to be, we called him Dishy Deesa. And I thought, right, I'm going to choose him. And so once I'd gone through all my treatment and my chemo and my hair had come back, I then had 2 cages. I looked like Dolly Parton by the end of it. They were out here. And I did not want to have, you know, huge bosoms at all. I just wanted shape, and I wanted to be able to wear. And so I went to see him, and in I go for the operation. And he said to Gary, it'll be about 45 minutes. I have silicone implants in at the minute, and she'll be out 2.5 hours. And Gary's like, what's going on? But when I woke up, I said, Dishy, what happened? He went, you know what? I know you. And if they had not been perfect, we would have been back in next week. So he said, we got you up. And we did halter neck, strapless. Yep, down we go. Getting them all fitted properly. Honestly, Gary and I did a message to all our friends saying we'd like to announce that we've given birth to 2 new bouncing baby girls. I got so many baby grows. They thought we had to. I was talking about my boobs in sense of humour. I've never regretted it, ever, ever, ever.
Yeah.
And honestly, mine have been in 21 years. I'm probably going to have the switch quite soon now because they shouldn't stay in. I've never had a problem. I'm able to wear anything I want. And I'm going to go into my coffin, when I'm 90 years old with a perfect set. So I choose to not allow it to, but I think when you're going through that process,
it's hard.
It's very, very hard. But for me, what was important for me was to look at the end goal. But the real excitement of this story is Dr. Larry Norton came to a speech in Dubai just recently. And he came and had dinner. I just adore him so much.
Aww.
And he said, now I'm going to tell you the real story. And I said, what do you mean? And he said, when you walked into my room, I knew that if you'd gone on to normal chemotherapy, you would never have survived. It was so aggressive. He'd never told me that at the time. And actually, what was the point in telling me that?
No, because then you lose the will.
You lose the hope.
Yeah, and the hope, yeah.
And so the protocol he put me in, which is normal protocol today now, by the way, which was called dose density chemotherapy. So what they do is they bombard your body. I had it every 7 days for 18 months, every 7 days in my body. He chose 30 women worldwide who he knew would never survive and put them on this new protocol. I knew it was a new protocol. I didn't know it was that new. Today, every one of them is alive. So if you have been diagnosed with breast cancer today, you have to take hope in that. The chemo and the dose density and the therapy and the protocol we took, people are surviving breast cancer and going on and living who would never have done it. All because of the incredible work that research does in cancer. And of course, that dose density doesn't just affect breast, it's everywhere. Ovarian, all of those things, and we're seeing these protocols kind of really, isn't that amazing? I just wept.
When did you find that out?
About 3 months ago.
You found out that you nearly died 3 months ago.
No, 21 years ago.
But you knew that it was fatal 21 years ago.
I knew it was fatal, but I did the chemo and I've been clear ever since.
Oh, right. So you just thought this was normal.
I thought, yeah, I didn't realise
that only
actually,
30 of you had had it.
Yeah. And they tested it. But that's why we have to live our lives. And when somebody tries to take your life or a day away from you, if somebody takes 1 hour of your life, take 2 back for yourself. And yes, we had to go through that. And why did we get it? I've no idea. I lived a pretty clean life, and I don't think cancer really cares about any of that.
No.
But to hear positive stories of people that survived. I had this lovely woman called Stacey Kaplan, who was my friend in New York, and she had gone through it, and she was 2 years all clear. She was invaluable to me. Absolutely. Why? Because she gave me hope. And hope, what is the greatest? Faith, hope, or love? I believe hope is the greatest, actually, because hope gives you another day and it gives you that motivation to want life more than anything. And and I never let cancer be the book. It's only a chapter in my life. I kept it in a chapter. I boxed it. And I'm not frightened of it anymore. The first year coming out was a bit scary because I couldn't take tamoxifen or anything. But of course, now I understand why I didn't, because I was on this protocol. Hair came back, life came back. But what I told nobody was it taken my sense of smell. So that's what it had. And I hadn't told Larry. I was so ashamed because Joe, I was so ashamed.
Oh, Joe,
I was so ashamed. But cancer can often do that. It shames you. It wants to make you feel that you're not worth it. And we are. And we have, in reclaiming your life, it can be very liberating, but very challenging. But of course, I had the chemo. I could feel my sense of smell disappearing.
Could you?
And I just thought, my God, I can't tell anyone that. I'm Jo Malone, and I've got a global company.
Have you ever read Perfume?
Yes, yeah, Peter Sushkin.
Oh, good.
It's so good. And
how good is that book? That's you. That scent.
Well, I
smell.
don't try and capture the scent of virgins, but
no. But I think when I read your story, that was the first thing I thought about. I read that book when I was quite young. I've always thought I've got quite a good sense of smell, but it's nothing like yours. And I want to talk about how important at that time, when it started to go, how much had you fallen in love with your sense of smell and what did it give you?
Well, I was in love with my sense of smell from a very young age. So it was my compass in life because of my dyslexia. So I could navigate life. It's my language. It's my emotions. And I also have synesthesia as well. So
explain what that is. Because is it a medical term or is it something? So it is a medical term.
It is. And when I had my brain scanned in those last scans, the doctor came out and he said, "You have a very large hippocampus." And I went, "Thank you." And you don't know it's in your head. And the hippocampus part of your brain. I'm joking.
It's funny though. Well done, Jo. I love that.
Humour is important as well.
If you don't laugh, you cry.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Hippocampus is the primeval part of your brain. And people with dyslexia, dyspraxia, that is often a very active kind of part. And it probably explains my dyslexia. But my brain, and he said, "Explain to me other things." And I said, "But my brain is sort of wired when I see colour, like I can smell fragrance when you're sitting on that chair."
Tell me.
So you're sitting on the skin of a nectarine, a mango, and pink pepper, crushed peppercorns like cologne, lemongrass, a little bit of, probably a bit of cedarwood in there as well.
Can I just tell you, weirdly, cedarwood, lemongrass, citrus are all my favourite tones.
Well, there you go.
Isn't that funny that you happen to sense that?
But I've smelt it from the minute we started talking, as you sat down. But when I think about it, it disappears. But it's there with me the whole time, and it whispers in my ear like these walls. I could paint it with fragrance, with my paintbrushes, and the whole room would smell of... Anyway, so that's what synesthesia is. That was still with me, but I could only smell it in my imagination. I couldn't physically smell. And that was the big reason I left Estee Lauder and Jo Malone London. So I don't know if people know this, but I've been out for over 23 years.
Wow.
I have nothing to do with the company at all. Very proud of what it's achieved, but it's not me.
No.
And
But
when
can
I
you talk about that company being in your name and leaving that behind and what that felt like? Because I think a lot of women, even going through a divorce or something like that, might identify
Yes.
with this kind of loss of identity.
Well, I'd faced that through cancer, then I'd faced it through my loss of smell. And when I walked away from that company, I had no sense of smell. A month later, I was sitting at home, woke up one morning, my sense of smell came back overnight.
Can I just quickly ask you something? I've just had like a
Yeah,
big
yeah.
thought. Do you think that leaving was the catalyst to bringing the smell back? There was something in your head
Oh my goodness, I've never thought that.
to let. Oh, I just feel like I feel like crying. I don't know why. Like that you
never
left
thought of
something
that.
behind, and you were
Maybe.
gifted something.
And I
when you
get the
did that.
gift came back again. Oh my gosh, I've never ever thought of that. Because it came back overnight.
Yeah.
And I said, Gary, have you opened the fridge? And I was 3 floors up. And he went, yes. How do you know? And it was like, I can smell. And then it came back so differently and with a vengeance. Like, I could smell everything. Like, not the way I did before.
It was more heightened.
I could smell the tiny crumb of bread on the it was like,
Oh, well, this is perfect.
it was, yeah. I mean, now I'm used to it again. But when you haven't had something and then it comes back to you, and I got my life back. I can be Joe again, but I was in a 5-year lockout.
Oh,
And that 5 years, so I couldn't do anything with it.
oh.
So the 5-year lockout, I got anxiety, severe anxiety. And even though I could smell now, and I was still Joe, couldn't do anything with it, I would prowl around. And we had 5 years.
Wait.
What?
Can you just describe Joe prowling around for me?
Oh, I'd clean everything in the kitchen. I was like a cleaner. I always had a bottle of sort of Ajax or whatever in my hand.
Say vodka.
No,
We'll talk about that later.
Okay. And I tried to do other things. I did a TV show which was called what was it called? High Street Dreams. High Street Dreams. I did a show there. I did all kinds of things, and it's like, no, all I want to do is create fragrance.
I mean,
and I knew I was brilliant at it.
We look back and 5 years went, but actually when you're in it, 1 year is an epic amount of time.
Yes,
But 5.
I had a 5-year, but I'd sold my company.
Yeah.
We'd shaken hands, and actually, you know what? Today we all have to sign things. If you shake hands on something you agree, do it. Be full of
Be that
integrity.
person,
Okay,
yes.
so I did to the day. And then when it was over, it's like, I've got to start again, because if I hadn't, I was living half a life. I had to find Joe again. And so we
Can I
started.
quickly ask you?
Yes.
You said I had to find Joe again.
I had to find Joe.
But you didn't have your name anymore. Like, what do you do
Well,
then?
Actually, it's been more of a struggle recently than it was in the beginning, because they own the name of the brand, but I was still the person.
Yes, of course.
And to be honest, if someone was to say, Joe Malone, I'd turn around. That's my name.
Yes.
I know and that's how we identify ourselves. So, and in the beginning, it was perfectly all right. We made sure when we started Joe Loves, we made sure that it was all very clear. We went to their lawyers, showed them the business from day one. They didn't like this, they didn't like that. So we took a couple of things, and then we got on and we did it. And
Well, that's a really different way of going about business, right?
yes,
That's
yes.
a very full of integrity.
Well, it's better to be truthful and honest.
Yes.
And get it out on the table. Anyway, and then we continued to build Joe Loves. The first year was excruciating. I got everything wrong. And again, I'm really happy to share that, because sometimes you think, oh my goodness, she got everything right the first time. Second time, distribution wrong, packaging wrong. The only thing I got right was the fragrances. And I thought, okay, we've got to turn here. You've got to be agile. So, when I talk about I either win or I learn, that was a big learning time.
Yeah.
And it was quite expensive.
Full
and
of
it was all of,
pivoting.
lot of pivoting. And then we found Elizabeth Street, and it was my birthday. Gary gave me a little key. And I have to show you.
This is
Have you seen
absolutely
this?
mega.
Sorry.
I have. It's so good.
Where's the picture?
Of you outside the shop.
Yeah, I
And
can't find it.
and then just remind me of the name of the first
Justin
ever.
DeBlanc.
Justin
There he
DeBlanc.
is. Look at him.
And you were what, 17, 16,
I was
17?
16. I was
Your
16.
first ever job.
I worked in a flower shop and I got fired.
Absolutely mega.
Look at the first packaging there.
So mega.
My goodness, how awful is that?
I rather love Ralph.
Oh, no, that was a big mistake. But then we came full circle and I walked into
This is
that
gorgeous,
shop.
though, here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I walked into that shop and I
See
thought,
it.
I've been here before. I've worked here. And Gary, of course, knew. And I walked in and I felt the shop say, you will change the world again in this place and you will build a global brand. And I felt like the walls were not in an eerie way, just the spirit of creativity was there. And we opened, I think 6 months later, but it's the same.
Love Gary. I love Gary.
And so do I.
Like,
So he's a real visionary. But often in life will bring you back full circle to where you first started. And when life does that, that's a gift. That really is. Because what life is saying is, try again.
Yeah.
Try this again, because this time. And, Joe Loves has been a struggle. The use of my name has caused me great anxiety, to be honest. Because
Had you ever had anxiety before? Was it a new thing that came when you sold the business?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And I went through a time, it wasn't just about my name, it was about, I've always grown up trying to do the right thing, honestly. And second guessing yourself, you can call me anything you want. I can't pick up a bottle of fragrance and say my name. It is, so I second guess myself the whole time. And I don't want to harm anybody. I don't want to fight. I just want to build and I want to create and I want to do it respectfully, but I won't go away either. I'm not going to be pushed in a corner and told I can't be Joe. No one is going to take that right for me. I'm still going to be the person and I'm still going to build and create. And this strength, this mantle of strength has really come upon me. And going through anxiety with what is it when your heart really beats?
Palpitations.
No, it's called when you have panic attacks.
Oh, panic attacks, yeah.
And I remember on my birthday a few years ago, I collapsed in a panic attack, rushed to hospital. My blood pressure was literally through the roof. And stayed in hospital for 6 days. They couldn't find anything. And then this wonderful doctor called she's called Anna Albright, and she is a cognitive therapist. And she said, you need help, Joe. You do. You can't do this on your own.
Yeah.
And between her and Dr. Elsa Epan, and I take a little pill. I take the tiniest milligram. I was so reluctant to do it.
Yes.
I didn't want to do it. I felt like I won't be in control. And my body started to rebalance itself. And I was still having panic attacks, but I was getting better and better.
Yes.
And then I went to Dubai. Sitting.
How long ago?
This is 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Went to Dubai for a holiday and still having these anxiety. Not as bad, but I still couldn't get rid of it. Because every day I go, I've got to control this. And of course, that's the worst thing you can say.
In a sense,
you can't.
That's anxiety, isn't it? Like
You can't control it.
No.
So you've got to just, it's not going
Let
to
it
kill
go.
you. You've got to let it go. And
That's so hard because it's
it
always
is.
talking
It's always
to
in
you,
your
right?
mind. But that's where creativity comes in, because it focuses your mind
Right.
onto something else. So I'm sitting there and I thought, I've got to break the pattern. I know I'm meant for something really big in this world. And actually, I haven't achieved it yet. I know I haven't, but I know it's pretty close. I can feel it now 4 years on. And I said to Gary, should we come and live here for 6 months? Just 6 months.
Yeah.
Let's just see if we just change. And sometimes when you're suffering, it's not that you have to go and change the country you're living in. You just have to change, the carpet or pull the rug from under your own feet and just change something. And actually the perspective suddenly changes. And he said, yeah, why not? Josh was in uni.
Can I just say one other thing? I think the other thing that I love about you is change is, generally speaking, to people terrifying. And here you are with anxiety and you're going,
Let's
let's just It's just chosen. And we've had a couple of people on here who've done that big thing, and I love hearing about it because it's something that we all are a bit scared of doing, big change. But it's where the real
Liberation.
liberation
does,
comes.
yeah.
And also, if you're stuck, it takes big change, but then something good's going to come out of it.
It doesn't have to be big change.
No.
So I was talking to someone amazing yesterday, and we were talking about could we start a kind of movement of 1 billion breakthroughs across the world. And what is your breakthrough today? So it doesn't matter how old you are, where you come from, how poor or rich you are, it doesn't matter what. What is your breakthrough? Could we create in 24 hours 1 billion breakthroughs for the entrepreneurial world? Yes. And the answer is yes. Yes.
Yes.
So my breakthrough on that day, and this was a big one, I looked up and I thought, I've got to break the cycle of anxiety. And I looked up and there were people jumping out of planes. And this was so out of character. And I said to Gary, should we do that tomorrow morning to seal the deal? And we did. And I went, this was so out of character of me. It was unbelievable.
I can't believe it. That's so
and not everybody
brave.
has to jump out of a plane, by the way. But for me, it needed to be something big. I just knew I knew who I am. And I needed to prove to myself that I was bigger than my fear. And so we go up in the plane. I was strapped to an Egyptian rugby player called Tariq. Nothing was going to happen on his shift. So we all get into this little plane. We're all strapped to our, you go down with somebody.
Yeah.
So in I am, and he said, we're first out. And I can't tell you, he says, okay, he straps you in, tightens you up. And I'm going, Tariq, no, I've changed my mind. So he goes, hold on. He opens the door and all I can see is open sky and clouds. And I go, no, I've changed my mind. He went, too late, honey, and just nudged me and out we went. And we free fall for 8,000 feet. I wish somebody had told me, because you have a cameraman with you, to close your mouth. I look like Wallace and Gromit coming all the way down. And then you go down 8,000 feet and my heart was banging and he pulls the parachute. And I swear to God, I felt the anxiety's gone. And as I came down, and from this day, I left that fear in that plane. I've still had panic attacks, but nothing. I faced something in my life and I thought, now I can do anything.
Yeah.
And from that minute, my life really started.
Yeah.
4 years. And now 4 years on, living in Dubai with the adventures. I am the bravest girl I've ever been in my life. And the happiest.
And why? That's so fascinating. So firstly, can I ask you how old you are now?
I'm 61.
So at 61,
Yeah.
you've become the bravest girl.
The bravest girl and happiest. I wake up smiling and I live on the beach. I know that seeing the sunset on a beach I call it my blue office. And I'm happy, very happy near water. I'm thriving in my personal life. I think Gary and I call it our gap year at 60.
Talk me through that, because I read about that, and a gap year at 60 is the greatest idea ever, along with the 1 billion breakthroughs. Breakthroughs and a gap year. This is how you go into the next chapter of your life in really good shape.
Because we still feel there is so much adventure. I mean, every day we look at each other and go, what's going to happen today? And I have amazing friends in Dubai and lots of expats, I love everybody together. So lots of Emirati friends, and it's one of the most happiest places I think and I call it home now. It really is home.
Wow.
London is not home for me.
Wow.
Dubai is home, and where my creative business is as well. But I look at it and I just think, when we were kids, you didn't have a gap year, did you? You just you either went to university if you were smart.
Didn't do that.
Or nor did I, or you went to work.
Yeah.
So we never had any of that. And I just thought, and we work every day. So it's not like a gap year, like we travel around the world, we pack our cases and we look at each other and go, where should we go and live? So we lived in Lake Como for a month. And we set up office within 8 hours. We got the hotel room, or wherever we're staying, the villa. We live in Zante for a month, actually 2 months. this year.
Zante?
Zante in
It's quite wild.
Greece. Oh, it's beautiful. Overlooking the sea, little Greek village. And I take 100 notes with me, and I sit and I smell every day. I do all my Zara collection.
Wait, just explain about notes.
Notes. So notes are like a note in music, like boo hoo hoo. Fragrance is exactly the same. So we'll have top notes, middle notes, base notes, but a note is an accord. So what I do is I take lots of accords, I twirl them round, I'll sort of put them all over the villa somewhere, and I'll go and smell them every hour. So my studio is wherever I'm living.
So you could literally work from anywhere.
We
If
do
you take
from
the
anywhere.
notes with you, you can go anywhere. You set up an office. So your gap year is just going wherever you want to go, whenever you want to go.
What do we want to do? Where do we want to go? Where do we want that creativity? So we've just launched a fragrance called Love from Como, and it was based on my month living in Lake Como. And the view on the bottle, I think actually we'll send you some,
Yeah.
is the view from the window where I stayed.
That's amazing.
And we would work from 7 in the morning to about 2, have some lunch, get in the car, drive round and find inspiration. And we find we found so many beautiful places. And I remember one day we drove and we had a tiny little car, and off we went. And I went, stop. I can see the lake and there's a little hotel. So we go in and there's flowers everywhere. I mean, it was so beautiful. Food was delicious. But they'd shut the hotel for a wedding. And we were sitting there having a drink. And I went, oh, no, don't worry. We'll find somewhere else. And she went, just stay. And so we sat and watched someone else's wedding. The boat arrived and the family were just divine and
You
wonderful.
stayed for someone else's. That's
Well, we
so.
bought- we-
You were wedding crashers.
We were
That's so good.
We were in shorts, sitting having our lunch. It was just, and it was so generous of them, and
That's so great. I've got goosebumps.
That I think is make somebody else's moment
Yeah,
as well. That was kind of them. They didn't have to do that.
yeah.
But Lake Como was wonderful. Zante, we've done.
Just very quickly, for anybody that's watching or listening, what I love about that is 60 is a perfect time to do a gap year. But I know I'm going to keep working because I like working.
Yeah,
Working keeps me going in my brain. Maybe work, quiet down a bit, but maybe not, But what I like is you've incorporated your gap year with work. It's just that you can go wherever you want to go. You're free. That's what I'm hearing.
And most people, they work all their life and then they retire. I don't like the word retire.
No.
I'm never going to retire.
No.
Ever. But if that makes you happy and what I would love, the things I want to do, that I just think, then do it. What if?
What are you waiting for?
So the adventure begins, and that step of a billion breakthroughs starts with 2 words.
Yeah.
What if? And the next 2 are if I could. What if I could? That's where it starts. That's your breakthrough today. We could have 1 billion breakthroughs today if only you were to say, what if I could? And then it's up to you.
Can I talk to you about Gaz quickly? Because
Yes.
how long have you guys been married?
40 years.
I mean, unbelievable.
He's so wonderful.
And you're still saying that after 40 years?
Well, I think yes, oh my
That's
gosh,
so
yeah.
mega, Joe.
I'm in love with that man, and I feel like I'm in my 30s at the minute.
Oh.
I know I'm not.
You look at that.
I feel like I'm in my 30s. I'm living my best life. So he and I grew up as young kids, had nothing, built. And by the way,
How did you meet?
Oh my goodness,
I want everything. Give me everything.
We met at Bible school. We've had our moments, like anybody. And
Well, that's
difficult.
comforting for people to hear.
Not everything has gone. We've had our moments, and when I went through anxiety, it was really hard for him. And then we've had illness. He's had a life-threatening condition as well. So, but we've come through all that. I don't think there is a secret. I don't think there is. I wake up every day and we go, good morning. And we wake up with a smile. And it's not that we're always happy. It's just, I want to start the day positively. I think we allow each other to be who we are. So although we work together, we're in separate spaces. But I love him, but I love his company.
Yeah.
And we laugh.
You like him.
I
as well.
really do. And, we don't have date nights or we plan date nights or anything, but Josh is grown up now. And I think we're really appreciative of our life. And we're at a part of our life now where we know we're in the third semester. We're in the third trilogy. In the trilogy, we're in the last bit. I mean, let's be honest. I want to make it count. And when I look and I think, honestly, I don't look at anyone else and want to be with anyone else. I love being with him. And I remember recently I was flying back to Dubai and my battery went on my phone and the plane was delayed. And I arrived 4 hours late back to the hotel in Dubai. And he was beside himself because he couldn't find me. And I've never seen him like that. And he went, oh my God. And he ran towards me, put his arms around me. He said, I thought something had happened to you. And it was such a beautiful kind of moment. I said, I'm sorry, but it was my phone. And I could see he thought for a second he'd lost me. And, but he is an incredible human being. He is. And he's kind, he's funny, not perfect, and neither am I. And I think you have to allow people to be who they are.
Yeah.
And, if someone's having a bad day and he's having a go or I'm having a go, I normally just take myself off down the beach and I'll sit there and read a book or make some notes. I sometimes take myself out of the situation and never hold on to a grudge. Yes. Never. It's not worth it. And nothing can be that, well, no, sometimes things are that bad. So, but we've never done anything to give each other. But I'm every day, just take every day.
As it comes.
Yeah.
You touched on something that I've forgotten to talk about, and I do just want to very quickly talk about the miracle of you and Gary discovering his illness, because is it true that he smelt different? Can you just tell us a bit about that?
So Gary has something called Addison's, and where his adrenals, so he goes into adrenal failure very, very quickly. So it's called acute adrenal failure. And he's severely asthmatic. He has conditions, but we don't let any of those things stop us from living our lives. We have to travel everywhere with a breathing machine. So it's part of how we travel. We've got it down to a fine art yet again. Even then, when we go to all these places, always have to check there's a local hospital and all of those things. But it's on our checklist. But during this time, he started to get very sick and very thin. And there was a smell down his neck there. And it smelled like rotting, wet, dirty moss. And I didn't know whether he had an ear infection or something, and he was getting thinner and thinner and thinner. Anyway, we went to the doctors, blood's normal, heart normal, everything was normal apart from this. And he got up one day and he had lost like 4 pounds at night. And what happens is the body's shutting down.
Right.
And we went to see, again, this incredible doctor called Dr. Michael Pele. And Dr. Pele was based in the Chelsea and Westminster, which was the St. Stephen's Hospital when I was born. I was born there. And we went there and I said, I know you think I'm going to be crazy, but I can smell something on his neck. And Dr. Pele said, I don't think you're crazy at all. Tell me what you smell. And I told him. And then he said to Gary, tell me what you're feeling. Gary, by this point, he just was skin and bone, couldn't walk. And he said, if you don't do something, I'm going to die. I feel my body is melting. And the fact that he actually said that to the doctor, and the doctor said, test his adrenals. His adrenals were like at nothing. So he was rushed into intensive care, put onto a drip. And I said to him, so what does that? And he said, that's the adrenal gland. But I can't explain, Joe. Anyway, I was doing an interview. Actually, I was doing this morning, I think, and I'm talking about it. And this charity calls me who train dogs to medical detection, dog detection, or detection dogs, based in Milton Keynes. And they said, can you come down? We'd love to chat with you. It's Dr. Claire Guest. And it's in fact a charity I'm now involved with because of the dogs. And they said to me, we'd like to chat with you because we're training dogs to smell for adrenal. At the time, COVID wasn't happening, but all of these like severe bacterias and everything. And they said, what are you smelling? because the dog kept hitting the neck there and they couldn't understand what it was. And of course, it was Addison's. It was adrenal failure, which you can die of unless you
But
get
how
medical help.
brilliant that you
So-
could help in that way.
So I then had my nose tested with the dogs. I had to get in the pen with the dogs. And so many, they're all Labradors, sniffing me, thinking, because they had to believe I was one of them. And then I had my nose tested and I was in the top 3 with the dogs. So I didn't make the top one. And
I love that. I'm impressed you made the top 3, but you were like, I didn't make the top one. You know?
no, and what that charity do is incredible. They've just discovered the smell. So if these dogs can detect something way before a blood test. Wow. So we're looking at cancer, Parkinson's, diabetics that go into free fall diabetes. The dog will tell you. I mean, there's so POTS, you know, when people just, you know, go out flat. So I am known as a super sniffer. That is one of my titles.
I mean, I think that suits you very well.
The super sniffer, yeah.
Joe, I also want to talk about senses because we've talked about smell, losing it, getting it back and how much it means, and how it exploded. Your olfactory senses exploded. But now you're on taste.
So when I went to Dubai, I set myself a challenge, and it doesn't have a date. It's just like, I'm going to do this. And I thought to myself, everyone knows me for the sense of smell, and they trust me with that. And I won't take that for granted, by the way, ever. And I will always create fragrances, always. And
Thank you.
I love doing it.
By the way.
But I was, pardon?
Thank you.
I will never
Please
stop
don't
doing
stop.
it. I won't, ever,
Okay,
ever,
good.
ever. My mission was to
Yes.
find the 5 senses of Joe. Could I build global brands? So I've been part of $2 billion, helping them become $1 billion with my creativity. Can I do that a 3rd time or a 4th time?
Yes.
I don't want to run it. I don't want to do all the things. I want to do the bit I love.
Yeah.
And so
God,
my
that's
mission
really-
was to find the 5 senses of Joe. So I was thinking, and taste and smell are so similar. And they're the similar part of your brain, memory, although taste is kind of much more concentrated. And somebody came to me and said, would you ever consider doing vodka? And I looked at it, and first of all, I thought, I'm not sure. And then I thought, you wanted to find your 5 tastes. This is your opportunity to learn. You may not get to it. And when we first started out, it was about 18 months ago. But it was when I met a woman called Joanne Moore, and she is a master distiller. So she is like a master perfumer. And I thought, it's identical to creating fragrance. I could do this. What if I could? And off we went. And so the first submissions of vodka, I got my papers out, you know, the papers that you smell
Yes.
on, dipped it into the vodka and smelled. And she went, what are you doing? I went, I'm smelling. We smell first and then we taste. And now we always start by smelling our vodka and then we
You
taste it.
taste it when you smell.
You can, so what I get people to do is smell and taste at the same time. And we've got one called the Bohemian. We've got 3. We've got the Purist, the Bohemian, and the Artist, and it's called Joe Vodka. And you'll see it in 120 airports, by the way, across which she's only a month old. She's our new baby. She's got a red glass stopper. So once
It looks so nice.
once it's used up, you take the stopper out and you can create one of those. You get one of those lamps that are batteried, and we created it so you never. It's like a piece of art. Don't ever throw it out. Use them as beautiful lamps. It's a bottle that you're meant to keep. You don't throw it out. It's it has another life.
I love that.
It has another life.
You have done so much, but I feel like there is no stopping you.
I haven't finished yet.
You haven't finished yet.
The world today is telling us don't trust those emotions. Don't say that. Don't feel that. And actually, your gut instinct is a human thing. Your babies are born with an instinct.
Yes.
An instinct for their mother, an instinct to get up and walk. And so instinct is a huge part of who we are as a human race.
Yes.
And that's what it's doing. And actually, sometimes when something's taken away and then given back to you, you hold it with fresh hands.
Yes.
You become the child again. And the innocence of that gift. And I think when you face your own mortality, that's a scary thing. or you face, you know, you don't have to be sick. It might be someone who's going through a divorce and their life has changed. You feel like it's the end of everything.
Yes.
And actually, once you've cried the tears and you've started to move and motivate towards the other side, you start to find a new life. I mean, how many times have you heard, you know, my life began when? I'm used to change.
Yeah.
I'm used to change now.
'Cause people are terrified of change.
And that may be who they are, though, as well. But I think with our younger generations, I look at, you know, I went to speak at a school the other day, and they were just so interested in the story. I could see them sitting like this, and they were leaning forward, listening to me. And it was just a story. But at the end, so many of them came forward and just said, "Oh my gosh, I want to do this and whatever," and it's given me hope, and I think I could do that now. And it was just so wonderful to see my enthusiasm and excitement had rubbed off on them just within 45 minutes. And they were taking that away and thinking, if she can do it, I can do it without a trigger of a doubt. So, and the place I live at the moment, as in my head, I believe that everybody has a bank account in life, and it's called creativity. And no one can touch that bank account but you. No one. No one can steal it from you, but it will only go up in value if you use it. And for me, my bank account is full. That creativity is just buzzing in so many different directions. You know, what is the sound of Joe? But actually doing this podcast today, this is sound as well.
Well, all of these ideas that you're saying, you are blowing my brains, like 1 billion breakthroughs. I love this. That's
24 hours, we could do it.
Your purpose. Like, imagine the people that you could help, 1 billion people that you could help with a breakthrough. A gap year at 60, blown my mind. Like
that would be. We could do. Oh no, you're too young. You're too young.
We could do a Thelma and Louise. You and me.
Can't drive.
I can.
Oh, that's okay.
Right? I couldn't for 6 months, but I can now.
I can't drive. Can't swim. Can't tell my left from my right.
Don't worry, I'll rescue you.
But don't worry, you'll smell great. Oh, but there's so many wonderful people out there as well. There's so many wonderful people, you know, like I sit in airport lounges the whole time, and I am chatty Cathy, and I'll sit, if someone's on their own, you know, are you going somewhere? And just make it count. Make that moment count. And if it's for you or it's for somebody else, how lucky, you may never see them again, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter about that. You know, just making somebody feel part of your world. 5 minutes or for 100 years. It really doesn't matter. And I think that gap here, though, is, and Gary and I laugh. We pack our little bags. We always take Rummy Cub. And so you'll often see us somewhere in the world sitting, we'll be having a pasta, a glass of wine, playing Rummy Cub, play 3 games, and we have a competition. You can imagine, we're very competitive. And we'll go and listen to, I don't know, the violinist playing, like in Lake Como, there was a square, and all these students come out and they're playing the double bass and the violin. It's like, this is precious.
Imagine if this was your life. You know, when you sit somewhere and you go, imagine if this was your life, and people just, I know.
What?
But that's
like,
yeah.
And yeah.
So I just want to say thank you.
Oh, I've loved it.
Yeah.
Can we do it again?
Joe Malone at CBE, Super Sniffer.
Super Sniffer.
That was so amazing.
Oh.
And there's so much to take home.
Oh.
Really enjoyed that. Thank you.